Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do The Boogeyman, issue number one by Ablaze Comics, made by Matthew, Salvia, and Jet, if I'm saying that correctly. Now, Ablaze Comics is doing fun stuff lately. Well, lately, I mean, they have some cool titles. Not everything works, but they are not shy to do something different like this one. So without further ado, what is The Boogeyman? Let's dive in. So we're here at this. I'm not sure whether it is, but some kind of a facility or center in this young boy's drawing. And this woman says, "Would you mind lending me these drawings for a few minutes? I like to show them to some people. It'll be quick." And then she's going into the back, and then she talks to some people here, and they say, "Hey, what do you think?" And she says that he is a courageous little boy, but totally traumatized. I'll be careful, Doc, I promise. But the trial's coming up, and the kid is the only witness. It'd be really good if he started to talk. And then, I don't know, I believe these are counselors, I guess, maybe from the police or I don't know what. And then, hey, and they say, "Hey, can you talk about what happened that night with the monsters?" And he says, "I can't." He said, "Hey, it's normal to be afraid, son. I understand it." And he says, "That's not it." He says, "I don't remember anything. I was lying, of course." So we go back to where we began. I didn't forget, you know. The memories get a bit mixed up, but it's all there, permanently etched into my mind. So basically, he was at that particular night reading a book that he got from the how do you say library, and his father is checking up on him, and he says, "Hey, why aren't you already sleeping?" And so he got a book from the library called The Boogeyman, and so the father says, "Yo, so you took another book out of the store called Boogeyman." Seems he likes those stories, I think. But then the kid says, "They exist, I swear. They're even one living in the basement." "Elliott," says the father, "there's a dog walking around in the walls. You can't hear it at night if you listen." "Elliott, listen to me." "I can prove it to you, Daddy. You know all my toys I keep finding in the basement? It's because the boogeyman takes them from under my bed." "Stop, listen to me," says the father. "There's no boogeyman in the basement or dogs in the wall. You're safe here." But then we go outside. And there's a guy sitting to this older woman. And then the older woman talks to him. And she says, "It's a nice house. It'll definitely be nice and warm inside. I wonder if they have a fireplace. You should go on and ask them instead of just sitting here in the rain. With a bit of luck, the woman will answer the door in her nightie and you get an eyeful. And if it's the husband, you can just smash his head in with your hammer." All right. And still not interested? Come on. Make an effort. Think about the woman and everything you could do to her during the weekend. And then I know something comes out of his head and she takes it. And then she sends this guy on his way to do stuff. And then we see, the parents, and they have a chat. They are a little bit worried about Elliott, about his behavior, and his obsession with the boogeyman. But then the door is ringing, so the husband goes in and opens the door. Right. Okay. So Elliott says, "Sometimes it's like never since I'm sorry. Sometimes it's like I never left the room. The almost inaudible sound inside these walls, the cold parquet beneath my feet, and that smell I've never forgotten." So he goes down and he says the smell of blood, and then you see his father's brain bashed in. I don't know where the mother is, but so he says, "Dad," and then he sees this guy's coming towards him. And he goes upstairs, hiding under the bed. And then he says, I certainly remember begging. I begged over and over again for you to come and get me. Well, this guy's entering the room. And then, yeah, well, you can pause the video and see what's in the book of the boogeyman, what it says. Pretty fun. But yeah, he's not there. And then this old woman comes into the house, and then out of nowhere, some kind of a dog appears. And she says, hey, where do you come from? If I'd known that I find nightmares like you here, I would have come earlier. But then before she can do anything, this guy comes in and she says, not so fast. Well, he says you need to go. I don't know that this house already had its boogeyman. If I had, I wouldn't have dared. Now you know. Get out. So I like that certain houses, or maybe a lot of houses, has boogeymans. How does that work? But yeah, so she is a little bit pleading to him, and she says, hey, 2 minutes, give me 2 minutes. My host will have found the kid, and then we can harvest more little sisters than either of us need. Little sisters? Not sure what that means. Then I'll disappear, I promise. Don't you agree? We don't want to miss a feast like this. Hang on, I said, pretty boy. We've met, haven't we? I'm saying this for the last time. Go now, or you lose more than a good harvest. So this old hag is not amused at all. And she says, you made a mistake acting like this fella. Then she's going outside and she pulls something from her body, some kind of a owl. And she says, hey, go on, my dear, tell the others. Go tell Mr. 7 o'clock that Grandma has found another one. So, yeah, a lot of questions, but also mysteries. I like that. But we also get some more insight of who this guy is later on. So the host, this possessed guy, I guess, still looking for the kid. And then I believe he's nudging this guy and saying, the back door just slammed. The kid's getting away. You can hear him crying for help. And then he's going outside. So, yeah, that's interesting. Then he picks up the telephone and he calls the police and he says, I report a double murder, and gives the address. And he also says, hurry up, the killer took off. And he says, she's still out there. So this boogeyman is not really a bad guy, I guess, now. And then he figures out that he is calling other ones, other boogeymen, probably to deal whatever inside. So it's pretty important, I guess. And so he says the police will never get here in time to take care of the kid. And then he talks to the dog and he says, well, basically he doesn't know what to do and he needs to figure it out. And so he goes down into the basement where the kid is hiding. And he says, do you know who I am? And he says, the boogeyman. Good, follow me. All right. So then we go outside with the hag again, and she's called another boogeyman. And so the other boogeyman says, so it's true you found another one? I could have sworn that we've gotten all of them. Well, no, only the city ones. Who knows how many of them has holed up in this backward places like this? Cowards too afraid to confront us. But not this one. He's different. I'm sure. I'm not sure, but I think I know who he is. Who? Father Death, she says. You lost it, you old crowd. Father Death disappeared decades ago, just as we started going after the elders. He definitely bought it in some deserted place, eaten by some lucky bastard during the Great Slaughter. And then she talks about that she's contacted Mr. 7 o'clock, and she's going to wait for that. But the other boogeyman says, hey, why did you do that? We are with the two of us. We easily can, take this guy, take him out and, take the boy. But she says there's something wrong with this guy, and she doesn't know sure and what to do, and she wants to wait for this other guy. But this other boogeyman says, how do you think he got to be who he is? By being Mr. Nice Guy? By settling for crumbs like the rest of us? If it's Father Death who's hiding in there, he got to be exhausted after having hibernated all these years. Yeah, so it seems that Father Death is a couple of 100 years old, etc. And so he says, it's our chance to play with the big boys. We can attack him now. As he wakes, before he has a chance to regain his strength. But, the old hag doesn't want to do that. So he goes inside and wants to do it himself. And then the dog is going to probably take care of this little kid. So the boogeyman, or Mr. Death, is saying, we have to go. And then the kid snaps and he says, no, 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 no. Why didn't you save them? Why? Well, we don't get any answers because the other boogeyman is here. And he says, yoo-hoo, anyone here? I can smell you, And then we see Elliott here try to escape. And then, well, he says, gotcha. That leads us to the next issue. We have some ads here. And then I got me all of the boogeyman. It's just 5 issues. So we see, I like the premise, to be honest. I like what's there, but I had hoped it was a little bit more scarier, if you know what I mean. More tense, a little bit more darker, I guess. But I don't mind cartoony-esque. What is it? Cartoony? It's not realistic, but I like the colors. By the way, the colors are very nice. And but I hoped for a little bit more darker storyline, but we'll see. Maybe it will be in the next issues. There's definitely some things here that interest me. At the same time, I'm a little bit cautious, but we'll see into how the Boogeyman issue number 2 is going, if it's good or not. Guys, let me know what you think about this, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.